This Reddit thread was deleted twice, because what they encountered in the Smokies matches 400-year-old Wendigo lore that most people have never heard the true version of. 3 hikers set out on what should have been a routine winter trek near Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It was February 2023, temperatures holding steady around freezing, but according to their now deleted account, something changed the moment they reached the old growth section of the trail. The air hit -17 in minutes, the original poster wrote, not gradually, like walking into a meat freezer. Our breath went from visible puffs to crystallizing mid-air. But temperature wasn't the only thing that shifted. There was a smell, described as rotting meat mixed with wet dog and something sweet like overripe fruit, the kind of stench that hits the back of your throat and stays there. Then came the sounds, not the normal sounds of winter woods. Those had gone completely silent. No wind through branches, no distant bird calls, no small animals rustling through undergrowth. Just breathing. Heavy, labored breathing that seemed to echo from multiple directions at once. My buddy Jake stopped walking first, the post continued. He was staring at something through the trees about 50 yards ahead. When I followed his gaze, I saw it too. Tall, maybe 8 feet, standing perfectly still between 2 massive oaks. Its limbs were wrong, too long, joints bending in ways that made my stomach turn. The figure remained motionless for nearly 10 minutes while the 3 hikers stood frozen. Then it began to move, not walking but gliding between the trees with impossible silence for something of that size. The worst part was its face, the final update read. When it turned toward us, there was nothing behind the eyes, not anger, not hunger, just emptiness. Like looking into a void that was somehow looking back. The thread was removed within hours. When reposted to a different subreddit, it vanished again. The moderators cited unverifiable claims and potential hoax content. But the details described, the sudden temperature drop, the specific type of decay smell, the overwhelming sense of wrongness, these match accounts that predate Reddit by centuries. The Wendigo isn't just another cryptid legend born from internet forums. It's a deeply sacred element of Algonquian spiritual tradition, documented in colonial writings as early as the 1600s. According to Smithsonian Folklife research, French fur traders and Jesuit missionaries recorded multiple instances of what they termed Wendigo psychosis, a condition where individuals, usually during harsh winters, would become convinced they were transforming into cannibalistic beings. But here's what most modern interpretations get wrong. The traditional Wendigo wasn't a horned, antlered creature. Those elements come from popular culture mixing Native American traditions with European imagery of demons and forest spirits. The authentic Wendigo, as described in Ojibwe and Cree oral histories, was something far more disturbing, a human who had crossed the ultimate taboo. It was gaunt to the point of emaciation, reads one 1878 account recorded by ethnographer Basil Johnston. Its skin was sallow and yellowish, stretched tight over bones. Its lips were tattered and bloody from constantly chewing itself. The Wendigo represented the consequences of greed and consumption taken to their logical, horrifying extreme. During brutal winters when food was scarce, the temptation to resort to cannibalism was real. The Wendigo served as both warning and explanation. Those who gave in to that hunger didn't just commit an act, they became something else entirely. Interestingly, the geographic distribution of Wendigo accounts aligns precisely with the historical range of the eastern woodlands tribes. The Great Lakes region, the northeastern forests, and yes, the ancient Appalachian territories that now include the Great Smoky Mountains. What makes modern encounters particularly unsettling is how closely they match the traditional warning signs. Sudden, inexplicable cold, the sense of being watched by something that shouldn't exist, the overwhelming wrongness that seems to affect the entire environment, causing normal forest sounds to cease. Ojibwe elder Mary Kingbird explained to researchers in 1987, "The Wendigo brings winter with it wherever it goes. Not just cold, the complete absence of life force. Trees stop growing, animals flee, even the wind holds its breath." This isn't metaphor. Multiple historical accounts describe localized temperature drops of 20 to 30 degrees in areas where Wendigo encounters were reported. 19th century fur trappers learned to recognize these cold pockets as places to avoid, especially during lean winters when desperation might make people vulnerable to what the Wendigo represented. So what do you do if you find yourself in a situation like those Gatlinburg hikers? Traditional Ojibwe and Cree wisdom offers specific guidance that has kept people safe for generations. First and most important, never acknowledge whispers in the woods. If you hear your name called by an unfamiliar voice, especially one that seems to echo from multiple directions, do not respond. Do not try to locate the source. Continue moving and avoid looking back. Second, carry protection rooted in tradition. Ashwood shavings have been used by woodland tribes for centuries, not as mystical talismans, but because ash burns even when green, providing reliable fire for warmth and light when you need them most. Third, trust your instincts about wrongness. If a familiar forest suddenly feels hostile, if temperatures drop without weather explanation, if wildlife goes completely silent, these are signals to leave immediately. Don't investigate. Don't try to document. Just go. Most importantly, travel in groups and maintain physical contact with your companions. Traditional accounts consistently describe the Wendigo's ability to separate people, to create confusion about direction and distance. Stay together, stay focused on getting out, and save the analysis for when you're safely back in civilization. We share these stories with deep respect for Algonquian traditions and the indigenous communities who have preserved this knowledge for countless generations. The Wendigo isn't entertainment. It's a teaching story about the consequences of greed, the importance of community, and the very real dangers that exist when we lose our connection to the natural world and to each other. These aren't literal monster hunting guides. They're reminders that our ancestors understood things about the wilderness, about human nature, and about the thin places where both can go wrong that we're still learning to appreciate. Whether what those hikers encountered near Gatlinburg was psychological, environmental, or something else entirely, the traditional wisdom remains valuable. Respect the forest, trust your instincts, and remember that some